Panels, as a leader of the opposition, we disagree with today's motion how this House would ban all production and consumption of meat. We stand with believing that if we ban all production and consumption of meat, it will cause more harm than the benefits. I have three rebuttals against the government side of the team. The first is about how they state that killing animals is immoral for us humans. However, the government side of the team is only looking at a wide perspective and not looking at the important standpoint about how us humans rely on meat. We cannot live without meat because meat offers so much vitamins and so much nutrients that are so important that us humans need to suffice to live a maximized, full, healthy lifestyle. Yes, humans can live without eating meat, but we will not be able to have all the vitamins that are needed to live a maximized and full and healthy life. We will live under malnutrition, under nutrition that is lacking because we lack the nutrition that can only be gained from meat. This will be linked to my first argument that I will state later on. The second rebuttal that I have against the government side of the team is about their second argument, talking about the effects on the environment, about how, in their point of view, growing plants will then benefit the environment more than if we were to farm animals due to all their reasoning. However, they do not consider then again farming plants itself, the mechanism of doing it, the mechanism of banning the consumption of meat. How are they going to do that? And how that can actually cause more pollution, more problems. Not to mention how relying on just plants itself doesn't guarantee that all these things would still happen. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to look at this perspective. If we were to solely based on just plants, it means that we will need lots of space for plant crops. Note that rice doesn't take only 10 minutes. Rice doesn't take 5 minutes. Rice takes so long, and it also takes up so many spaces. We would then still do deforestation. We would then still do it over and over again, and it might actually cause the risk of soil erosion, because note that the soil will weaken because the plants will always gain all the nutrients from the soils, and in the end, the soils will weaken, and there will be more natural disasters that can be caused. On the other hand, on our side of the team, on the opposition side of the team, we're affirming with having a balanced type. We're standing with having a balanced amount of farm animals that are being grown and also farming the plants. Having a balanced lifestyle on this side will not only benefit us humans, which I will explain later on, but it will also benefit the environment as well. Because we will not only solely be based on having to harvest plants, but we can also opt for another alternative. These two alternatives are way more accessible, and that is not problematic with our status quo right now. This is leading me to the third rebuttal that I have against the government side of the team, where their arguments and their logic is not logical at all. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we need to look at the status quo right now, the current status quo of our simple and wonderful country, Indonesia. Here in Indonesia, we do not only focus on the importance of farming plants, but we're actually looking at all the other perspectives. One of the foods that is very common in Indonesia is rendang, which has been known for all over the world, and we are known for the country with rendang. And this rendang has already become a brand image, an image that is so good for our country that can also benefit our country. And so with that, if we were to take away this brand, imagine what will happen to Indonesia. And that will just happen in the government side of the team. Imagine if we were to ban all the production of meat, all the consumption of meat, then it means that rendang would not exist anymore. Well, not only will it jeopardize how people view the people who are already used to eating rendang, but imagine what will happen to the culture, how the cultural heritage of Indonesia, which comes from rendang and so many other food that cannot be replaced with any other plant-based meals. Imagine what will happen to that. The cultural heritage in Indonesia, and in fact in any country, is so important. We should not take away this cultural heritage, because cultural heritage is what identifies someone. It is what makes a country a country. We should not imagine a world where Indonesia has to lose its cultural heritage for the arguments that have been stated by the government side of the team that has actually already been broken down. We should then instead focus on the arguments and the realistic alternatives offered by the opposition side of the team, which is to have a balance between farming animals and farming plants, where with this solution we are able to reach the goal to ensure a better health and well-being of our earth, starting for our well-being as humans and towards the environment as well. And so I will move on to the two arguments that the opposition side of the team has The first, which is the cultural and the economy standpoint, and the second is the nutrition standpoint for all humans as well. So the first one is about the cultural and the economy standpoint. As mentioned earlier, Indonesia solely based their culture on many different things such as food, which is also making Indonesia well known all over the world. And so why is it so important for these cultural things? Because in Indonesia, we are multicultural. We believe in unity and diversity. And so with that, we have to respect all cultures. We have to see and understand all cultures. There are many different cultures in Indonesia. There are Batak people, Chinese people, and they all also love to eat meat. In their culture, Batak people likes to eat pork. So the same with Chinese people, and that has already become their culture. This is clashing with the status quo. Imagine if we go with the scenario of the government side of the team. If we ban all production and consumption of meat, what will happen to these Batak people, to these Chinese people? We know for a fact that in Indonesia, there are many protests, many people who do not accept that there is something that has been changed. But imagine right now, the government side of the team is offering that we take away one of their cultures. The things that have happened in the past, it has not yet been touched with a culture that is being gone. It is just based on racism and so on and so forth. But imagine if right now we are taking away their culture. Imagine the horrendous things that will happen just because of this clash with the status quo. So this is not only unrealistic on the government side of the team, but it is also unrealistic because we need to preserve the cultural heritage that is in Indonesia. The cultural heritage that is in Indonesia will also affect the economy of Indonesia. So in this economy, it is one of the pillars that is very important that makes Indonesia Indonesia. Because our culture is already well known, starting from the food and etc., people understand more about the importance of this culture becoming an economic standpoint. Right now, rendang has been sold all over the world. The idea, and not only Indonesians who also move to other countries, they're able to sell this. And so this adds a value into the country of Indonesia, but it also benefits the economy because now people understand, oh, rendang. And so the tourism of Indonesia has also increased as well. And so this branding is very important for the country. Moving on to the second argument is about the nutrition standpoint, where meats are rich sources of protein and contain all the essential amino acids. It also contains iron and vitamin B, which cannot be obtained from plant foods. So with that, meat is also something that cannot be taken away from our lifestyle. Therefore, the government side of the team should not win and the opposition side of the team should. Thank you.